It would have been red.
Hey everyone. So basically, I was just sat here watching the live Johnny Depp trial, and so I thought I'd just live stream it and watch it with some of you guys. So probably going to watch about 30, 40, maybe an hour. So yeah, hello.
Eleanor Finney, I believe.
Apologies, Ms. Pennington. What did it look like?
I don't remember which one.
You saw the aftermath?
The aftermath, fair.
So you don't know that Mr. Depp actually threw the bottle, right?
Hello, Ashley. Hello, Greek.
I don't know.
Ms. Heard could have thrown the bottle. True?
Could have.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. You say she could have?
She could have.
And was the evening still happening after you returned from observing the bedroom?
Hello,
Yes.
everyone. What's everyone's thoughts on this case?
Do you recall any other issues
Because it
happening, any
fascinates
further
the shit out of
problems
me.
during the evening?
I don't recall any. No.
Do you remember providing deposition testimony about the Thanksgiving incident when you were deposed in the divorce proceeding?
Is the sound levels okay?
If you have transcript of that original deposition, I could take a look at it and recall.
Do you have any independent recollection of testifying during the divorce proceeding about Thanksgiving?
Are you talking about the deposition or testifying?
Camille Vasquez is the GOAT.
I'm talking about your deposition during the divorce proceeding.
She's at the
Do you
direction.
remember?
I remember the depo, but it was a very long depo, and a lot of topics were covered.
So, do you remember during the depo
Hello,
testifying
very well, thank you. Hello,
that Mr.
Jordan.
Depp
Hello,
was
everyone.
returned to dinner? Mr. Depp was, quote, acting like nothing had happened. Do you remember that testimony?
The
I
interesting
don't
thing,
remember the
Let me
specifics
just-
of the
I don't know how I'm
testimony.
going to do this. Maybe turn it down a little bit. The interesting thing for me is Amber Heard has lied a lot under oath, and that's perjury, which is punishable by prison time. So it'll be interesting to see what happens after this, win or lose. Because a crime is a crime, right?
July 14th, 2016, it's volume 2.
Where am I looking in the document?
Yeah, if you could please scroll down to page 238. Ms. Pennington, if you could look on page 238 of your deposition transcript from July 14, 2016, line 23. And if
Oh. Oh, I think they've gone to. I think they've gone to the judge. Louis D vlogs. I make ghost videos. Nice. 10 years in prison for perjury. Good lord.
I don't have like the scrolly things. I just
Defamation down.
I don't know if you remember me, but one of the Atma VIP streams a couple of months back, I said I fractured my wrist. Well, I've done it again. No. Man, you need to be more careful with your wrists.
what am I?
Can't
What
bring it
line
live.
am I reading down to?
just join now. Anything interesting happened? I wouldn't say so. I don't know if this is like looking back at an interview, because it says January 20th, 2022. So I think this is going over what someone else has said previously. But I just thought, look, I'm watching this currently, so I thought I'll just slap on a stream and we can watch it together, because I'm just interested in what you guys think about the whole thing, you know? I hope you're all doing well. It's a beautiful day today in England.
Okay.
Whoa, what's going on with this? She's been cut. This whole spectacle is so pity. They pretty much destroyed their careers, but who don't love themselves some nice drama? I do, certainly.
Yeah, the night has faded in my memory, but as I read this, yeah.
Is that an accurate description of what you observed, Mr. Depp, that evening?
This description?
Yeah. Was it your observation the evening of Thanksgiving that you couldn't tell whether
Someone
Mr.
has
Depp
got a
was
bad
drunk or
cough.
angry, that he just put on a facade?
I couldn't tell what he was feeling. I didn't know what was going on.
And you couldn't tell if he was drunk, correct?
I couldn't tell.
And you couldn't tell if he was angry that evening either?
Well, I can't say what anybody else's emotions are at any time.
You didn't perceive him being angry in front of you that evening?
Quite possibly.
At me, no.
At anyone?
Not that I recall.
So
Team
fair to
Johnny.
say that
How do I
Mr.
do a
Depp did not
poll?
seem angry to you when he came downstairs
Where
after the
is-
Thanksgiving dinner, right?
There you go. Create a poll.
He didn't seem any particular way to me.
So you testified that in December of 2015, Amber called you over to her apartment so that you could check her out. Is that a correct statement? You testified to that?
Yes.
Okay, my question was, after
There
you
you go, there's a
arrived,
poll
you
there.
observed injuries to Ms. Heard, right?
Yes.
Do you remember seeing that her head was bloody, where a chunk of hair had been ripped out of the back of her head?
Yeah. Yes.
Was her head actively bleeding when you saw her?
It wasn't like dripping down her head, but it was raw and red.
Was it actively bleeding, if you remember?
Define actively bleeding.
Was there blood?
Yes.
How could you tell hair had been ripped out of her head?
There was a bloody patch with hair missing.
Where was her face red?
Her whole face.
Could the redness have been from crying?
It could have been.
Where did her nose appear to be swollen?
It'd be like the upper bridge.
Did you observe that Miss Heard had any black eyes?
There you
Not
go.
that
I
I
got rid of
recall.
one of the hashtags. I changed it for Johnny Depp trial.
Was there blood on her lips when you saw her?
It was a cut open.
Was there blood coming out of that cut?
Sorry, you can answer. Sorry.
Is this watermark in front of me?
I don't remember if there was
Don't need
blood
to move.
coming out of it at that point.
Was it on the top or bottom lip?
It was on the bottom.
Before we go there, have any independent recollection of seeing a laceration on Miss Heard's forehead?
There were many times that I saw injuries on her. If you would like to show me a photo or point me to another place where I can remember which injury was
Sorry.
in which instance, then I can answer the question.
So you testified that Miss Heard had a laceration on her forehead when you saw her, correct?
Yes.
So I'm guessing
If
the
you remember,
cross-examination is
where on her
finished now, right?
forehead was this laceration?
Up by the hairline.
Was it on the right or left side?
I don't remember.
Was the laceration bleeding?
I don't think so.
Sitting here today, did you observe any other injuries to Miss Heard that evening that you remember?
No. She's walked away from her mic.
Witness statement in the United Kingdom. That would be great.
It's interesting to find out that her role in Aquaman 2 has been heavily reduced. I've never actually seen Aquaman. Is it any good? Is Aquaman 1 any good? Is it worth a watch? Guys, let me know.
Paragraph 20, Ms. Pennington, you testified that after you saw Miss Heard, you, quote, called for assistance from a private nurse who was part of the concierge medical service which Johnny and Amber knew. Is that
Is the
correct?
audio gone?
Is Erin Baran the private nurse you're referring to here?
Is the audio okay, guys?
Yes.
I think it's gone on their end.
Do you know approximately at what time you called Miss Baran?
Evening.
Do you recall Miss Baran coming over to the penthouses that night as well?
There's been some really weird stuff. Like the bee thing. The bee thing is so... Like, my dog stepped on a
I
bee.
don't know if she came over that night.
So
Do you
fucking
recall Miss
weird,
Baran
man.
providing any advice or recommendation to you on the phone?
I think she said to maybe not let her go to sleep
Audio's fine this end? Okay, cool.
and to listen to her speech. Keep an eye on her.
Yeah, over 3 million people have signed to have her removed from it.
Yes.
She gave 2 photos of her injuries, saying that they were from different events. They were the exact same photo, one had a high saturation. Yeah, I was looking at a clip of that today.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you
Well,
send me photographs?
I don't know if it was on my phone or her phone.
You see the third line down, you say with my phone.
Oh, then it was my phone.
Did you alter the photographs in any way, Ms. Pennington?
No.
The footage of her talking, I think it's in a deposition or something in 2016, and she lets loose that she
No.
leaked
Do you recognize
footage or something about her divorce at TMZ, and she physically can't believe she's just said it. That is fucking crazy. What's the bee thing? And she's just talking about some stuff, and she's just like, oh, my dog stepped on a bee, and then she goes like, looks away really weird, like overacting.
I don't know if I took that one.
Okay. I'm going to show you a document that will be marked Pennington Exhibit 3. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
Do you recognize this photograph?
Yeah. Yes.
Let's pull up Pennington Exhibit 6. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
Did you take this photograph?
Yes.
What is photograph depicting?
The part of her scalp where the hair was ripped out.
You've testified previously that you photographed a big clump of hair on the floor, which is blonde in color and clearly belonged to Amber. Do you remember testifying to that?
What do I think of the staircase thing? The documentary is insane. Do you know what? Throughout that documentary, I go from he did it, he didn't, he did it, he did it, he didn't, he did it. Oh man,
PH4 in the bedroom.
I honestly can't make my mind up on that one. I haven't watched the dramatization series yet though.
Used that penthouse as a closet?
No.
Which penthouse did Miss Heard use as a closet?
Penthouse 5.
How did you know that the hair clearly belonged to Amber?
Hair had been ripped out of her scalp, and it was her color on the floor of her apartment.
They clearly had a very
But you
toxic
didn't see the hair get
relationship.
ripped out of her head, right?
Correct.
And so your understanding that this was Miss Heard's hair that was ripped out of her head is based on what Miss Heard told you, right?
My understanding that it was Miss Heard's hair was what I saw.
Yeah, that was interesting. The fact that Meg says the fact that she took photos of the mirrors in Australia but not her own injury says a lot. It was very odd. There are a lot of just odd things, you know,
That was based on what Miss Heard
about this
told you,
case,
right?
Yes.
about her defense. Very
If
odd.
we could pull up Pennington Exhibit 7, please. Ms. Pennington, do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
Fucking hell, that's a lot of hair.
This is a picture of a clump of hair on the floor that you referenced in your prior testimony.
Yes.
This is a picture of a clump of hair on the floor that you referenced in your prior testimony.
Guys, you can hit that like button. I'd appreciate it. If you're here, why not?
Yes.
It's free.
Did you take this photograph?
Yes.
Did you take it on your phone?
Yes.
And before you took this photograph, did you move the hair in any way?
No.
Okay, so this picture is the clump of hair exactly as you found it, right?
Correct.
And when did you take this photograph?
It's very interesting.
When I was taking the other photographs,
And you didn't alter this photo in any way, correct?
I did not alter this photo.
Well, I've seen reports of her cheating with Elon Musk and
Take your photograph
James
of the
Franco.
wooden platform bed, which has
Whether it's
parts
true or
of
not
the
is obviously
wooden
another
frame.
thing, but
I do.
Sue says bruises can be applied by using makeup or photoshopped. I just don't trust this lady. She gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Yes.
You didn't move anything off or onto the bed?
I'm very interested to see what the jury, the verdict they give, because obviously they have no access to their phones or anything, so they're not seeing the
If you remember.
world's opinion. They are just
the
in there
platform
hearing
And
both sides
the
without any
edge of the
external
platform had
intervention.
Like a long shard of wood off the corner, or like off the edge.
Joe Charles, this case is
Where
mental
was
because
the
they're live streaming a fucking assault case. They're not. They're live streaming a defamation case about an op-ed that Amber wrote. This isn't about. This isn't to prove whether
I'm gonna show
Johnny
you
assaulted her or she assaulted Johnny. It's to prove.
There's a
Well, I guess it
picture
is to
of
prove that she didn't that he didn't assault her,
Recognize the photograph?
and that. But the main thing is this article that was written is false. That is what this case is about. It's a defamation case.
Did you take this photograph?
Yes.
You see that on the left side of what I assume is the mattress, the comforter, There appears to be something on the bed.
Is it possible to zoom in?
Sure.
That's a large fragment of wood that's snapped off there. Just to clear his name, yeah.
You see in the picture there appears to be something on the bed.
Yes.
Is this something that was already there when you found the bed?
I am indeed, Chad. I am a lead sport.
I don't remember seeing that before.
It's not something that you put on the bed, right?
No.
And you don't know what that is.
No.
Subscribe if you're new, guys. I'm so close to 100k.
So I believe you already testified that the next day Ms. Heard was going on the James Corden show, right?
Oh, this is interesting. Because she had no signs of any injuries at all. But then I know obviously
Which
makeup can cover things
testify?
up.
Which testification?
Today.
Oh, today. The next day.
No, I'm not actually. I'm not from Leeds.
And you were with Ms. Heard when she was getting ready for the show at her apartment, true?
True.
And was this in Penthouse 3?
Hmm. Five.
Big Pete.
You
And
remember
apparently
that,
Margot Robbie is going to be the new Jack Sparrow. This is what dreams are made of.
Deer were there assisting Ms. Heard getting ready.
Yes.
Who is Samantha?
Samantha is Johnny's stylist and was also doing styling for Amber.
And who is Melanie?
Amber's makeup artist.
And who is a deer?
Amber's hairstylist.
Do you recall anybody else being there?
No.
Did you hear Ms. Heard tell anyone of these people about her injuries?
I remember her showing the injuries.
I'm pretty sure.
Who did
So-
she show the injuries to?
On the right is the live. On the left, I
She
think they're
showed
viewing something from
Melanie
January.
and a deer, the
This is the lady, I believe, who
hair on her head.
she's like Amber's witness, but she refused to say that she was Amber's friend or something like that.
You remember that after Ms. Heard's birthday dinner, you and Ms. Heard and some other friends were scheduled to leave for Coachella the day after?
Yes.
So after the dinner, I know you attended the dinner, but after the dinner the next day, when you arrived to the penthouse, you noticed shattered glass on Ms. Heard's bedroom floor.
Correct.
What kind of glass was it?
I don't know.
Could you tell where it comes from?
I couldn't tell where it had come from.
Did you notice any other damage in the bedroom?
I believe there's a broken lamp.
Ms. Heard had 2 dogs at the time, correct?
At the time of this?
Yes.
Yes.
And do you recall where the dogs were when you were in the bedroom with Ms. Heard on April 22nd, 2016?
Funny as we get to watch this, but not the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Oh my goodness, I would love to see that Ghislaine Maxwell trial.
In the bed.
Have you seen the clip of Amber's psychologist admitted Johnny has signs of trauma from mental and physical abuse accidentally? I have. It's crazy,
Yes.
crazy, crazy.
Did she look upset?
When I arrived,
Yes.
she was asleep.
When she woke up, did she look upset to you?
Yes.
What made you think that she was upset or looked
Because
upset?
this trial isn't exposing the lead
She
pedos,
started
yeah.
crying.
Now let's turn to the events of May 21, 2016. Okay. At some point, did Ms. Heard tell you that Mr. Depp wanted to come to the penthouse to get some stuff on May 21st, 2016?
I don't remember what exact day she said that, but she said that.
I'll make the representation to you that we're talking about May 21st, 2016, when Ms. Heard alleged that Mr. Depp threw a phone at her. So, do you recall knowing that Mr. Depp was planning to come by the Eastern Columbia building on or about May 21st, 2016 to collect some stuff?
I remember that she told me that he wanted to come over.
Everyone looks so drained
You
by
were
all
at
this.
the penthouse before Mr. Depp came over?
On which... when?
On May 21st, 2016. You were there, obviously, correct?
Yes.
And Ms. Heard was there?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And how is everyone in the chat? I hope everyone's doing well.
Yes.
Was Elizabeth Mars there?
Yes.
Were you preparing for...
I have no idea how long this is on for.
The next day that you were...
This whole trial.
Ms. Pennington?
I was...
Yeah, the audio on their end went down a little bit. Let me see what I can do.
Was anybody assisting you prepare
Do
for that show?
that, if that's any help. It's as best as I can do, I'm afraid.
Yes.
And you were in Penthouse 5 on May 21st, 2016, preparing for that show?
We were in and out of Penthouse 5 and Penthouse 1.
The pledge and donation thing is very interesting. That's just like, yeah, I've pledged it, so well, have you donated it? So no. So we've had 13 months before any cases came up when you
At
could
some
have
point, Ms.
donated
Heard
the $7 million.
left Penthouse 1 and Penthouse 5. And she went to Penthouse 3, correct? At some point that evening?
Yes.
Sometime after Ms. Heard left to go back to Penthouse 3, you received a text message from her, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember where you were when you received this message?
PH1, Penthouse 1.
And then she was
Where was
like,
Mr.
oh
Depp?
no, pledge and donation in my vocabulary like mean the same. It's like, no, they
With
don't.
me in PH1.
Like, you can't dictate
Where
what
was
language
Mars?
means.
She was either with us in PH1 or in PH5.
Johnny's got a cough.
And do you remember what
Go
you were
with-
doing when you received this message?
No.
What did you do after you received this message from Ms. Heard?
I went straight over to PH3.
Could you hear when you went straight over to page 3, Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard yelling?
Jordan, who do you think will win this
Sorry,
case?
will
I
you repeat
think.
just the beginning of the question. You broke up a bit.
I think.
When you went to Penthouse 3, could you
All
hear
things
Mr. Depp
considered
and Ms. Heard yelling?
and taking the internet and
Yes.
everything into account, Johnny, by a landslide,
Recall
right?
what they were saying
But
to
I
each
just
other?
think inside that courtroom, I feel like
No.
it'll be a little bit different. I don't know. And the jury have no outside perspective whatsoever.
Do you
I
recall
don't
the
think
door
it's
you
as
locked
clear
in
cut.
Penthouse 3 when you got there?
The door was always locked.
Did you have a key?
Yes.
Did you use the key to open the door?
Yes.
Lots of coughs in that room. We're all scared.
I believe you previously testified that the penthouses 3, 4, and 5 were all connected. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so you can get from penthouse 5 to penthouse 3 without going out the main hallway. Is that right?
Correct.
For anyone that's just joined, thank you very much for joining. Basically, I was just going to sit and watch some of this afternoon by myself, and so I thought I'd just throw a stream on and just watch it with you guys. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this case.
Yes.
Do you know where Mr. Depp was standing?
Yes.
Where was he?
In the living room.
What part of the living room?
The sort of like the entry, like the in-between from the kitchen to the living room.
And where was Miss Heard?
On the other side of the living room.
Was she by the couch?
Yes.
And were they approximately how far apart?
8 feet, 10 feet.
And they were both standing when you first came in?
Do you stream when you look at stuff
Yes.
for videos? If not, I think that would be
What's the first thing
decent.
you remember, Miss
Well,
Pennington, when you
I'm
entered
actually
the
going to
penthouse?
start doing that, funnily enough, mate. Over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Studio Rhino. Especially when I look into true crime cases, I'm thinking about changing up or doing a new style of video where
The first thing I remember was
I literally research the video on live stream and then I'll cut it up for a video. So it's like
just hearing them.
we're compiling a case
don't
rather than
remember
me
what they
bringing
were
this case
saying,
and being
but
like
it
this,
was
this, 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 and
verbal
this. We're
argument
compiling the case over maybe a
and-
45-minute journey, and then we get to the end where we have this is the case. I think that might be quite
Then
cool. I'm
he
just going to try it out.
continued to yell, and I went over to her and then stepped between him.
Where was Mr. Depp when you stepped between them?
The sofa is an L in the corner of the living room. The coffee table fit into the L shape. Amber was on the far
look into
side.
Mysteries
Johnny
M
was on the
Cave.
other side of the L,
Let me have a look.
with the coffee table between them.
There you go. I've noted it down.
At
Mysterious
some
M
point, Mr.
Cave.
Depp's security team came in. Is that correct?
Correct.
Sounds like it'll be good. Not gonna lie, I do
And
like
that
the
was
longer
Gary
stuff for true
Judd
crime.
and Sean
Fair
Bennett?
play.
Yes.
Where was Mr. Depp standing when they entered the apartment?
In the space between the living room and the kitchen.
And you were with Miss Heard on the sofa?
Yes.
Mr. Depp eventually left penthouse 3 with his picture. Is that correct?
Eventually, yes.
I can't believe how close you are to 100k.
He left you
So looking
and
forward
Penthouse
to
3?
when that moment arrives. I'm really happy for you. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Lewis. I appreciate it, dude.
From the moment you entered house 3 until Mr. Depp left, did you see Mr. Depp touch Miss Heard?
I didn't see him touch her.
Did you see him throw anything at her?
I
She
didn't
called
see him
the
throw
Twitch channel
anything
Rudy
at
Dino.
her.
What did you do after Mr. Depp left penthouse 3?
Hey, Bonnie, thank you for the £2 donation. Behind the scenes, that's it. You're seeing me in my day to day.
We took Amber to penthouse 1.
Is that where Mr. Drew and Miss Mars were?
I don't know where they were specifically. I don't know if they were in different places or which apartment they were in.
What did you do once you and Miss Heard got back to Penthouse 1?
What do you have planned for when you hit 100k? I don't actually know, to be fair. Maybe a little exploration special or something. I've kind of been focused on the Facebook for a little while. I think it's coming up to 300k in 6 months, which is
She
crazy.
wanted her purse. So I asked Josh to go find her purse in PH3.
Did you observe any property damage in any of the penthouses?
Yes.
What damage did you observe in Penthouse 3?
When does the jury decide? I don't actually know.
He had smashed a bunch of the... On his way out, I saw this. On his way out, he had knocked over a bunch of items that were on the kitchen island, fruit baskets and bottles and things like that.
What tips do you
That
have
was the
or
main
advice
damage
for
in
getting started on
PhD.
YouTube? Find something you're
What
passionate
damage
about
did
and
you
just
see in
start.
PH5?
Doesn't matter if it's good, doesn't have to be perfect,
In
just
PH5,
do it. Get
there
it done.
were,
Get that first video out
photos
there.
that had been smashed off the wall, items that I had been working on.
Next Friday is the
table
final day.
that had been
Love you,
thrown
dude. Thank
against
you very
the
much.
wall.
Go to Amsterdam and do shrooms at 100k. Jeez. Ends on the 27th of May. So if you notice, do you think
Also
Facebook has helped
injury to
your
the first
YouTube
face,
growth?
correct?
No, I don't think so. Not currently. I haven't seen an impact over here at all.
Yes.
What did you see?
Her cheek was red and swelling.
Do you recall when you noticed her cheek?
No.
But you didn't see how this occurred, right?
I didn't see.
At some point, 2 police officers arrived. Is that correct?
At 2 points, 2 police officers arrived.
Before the first set of police officers showed up, had you cleaned up any of the damage in Penthouse 3 or 5?
I don't remember.
Where were you when the police officers arrived? The first set?
PH3.
Did you see Mr. speak to the officer? The first set.
Yes.
Did you see the officers enter Penthouse 3?
Yes.
They look around Penthouse 3?
Yes.
Did they enter House 5, the first set of police officers?
I'm not sure.
Is it your testimony, Ms. Pennington, that the first set of police officers saw the damage you allege Mr. Depp caused in Penthouse?
I don't know what they saw, but there was damage there.
And another set of 2 officers came later in that night. Is that correct?
Correct.
Between the first set of officers leaving and the second set of officers arriving, how much time had passed?
Hey dude, my mate is a big fan and it's his birthday. Could I get a shout out to... I hate doing shout outs on live streams because
I
they're
don't
normally
remember exactly.
to do you over.
Do you have an approximation of how much time had passed? An hour or 2? Less than that?
But I'll do it.
Less than 3?
Shout out to Big
3 hours?
Boy
Less than 3 hours?
Peter.
Less than 3.
Sherlock. There you go. I separated just in case. For his
In this
30th.
slide,
Happy
do you
birthday, mate.
recall seeing any of the damage to penthouse 3 or 5?
I don't recall.
Do you recall Ms. Heard speaking with either of the second set of officers?
Both, Jordan.
No, I don't remember if she did or not.
I'm intrigued. I don't know what is going on with this, because this is from January.
Did these officers, the second set, look around penthouse 3?
Unless all of the following questions are going to be about this specific interview.
I can't guess, so I don't know.
Ms.
Playing
Pennington,
games?
have
Got
you
playing
ever
Resident Evil
personally
4
witnessed
on
Mr.
VR.
Depp physically attack Ms. Heard?
Yeah, can you be specific to physically attacked?
Did you ever witness Mr. strike Ms. Heard?
No.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp throw anything at Ms. Heard?
I never witnessed him throw anything at her, around her, yes.
The question is, did you ever witness Mr. Depp throw anything at Ms. Heard?
Bonnie
No.
Wild with the 5. Just want to give Ramel Henry's
Did you ever
family a
witness
hug after
Mr.
losing
Depp
his
hit
mum.
Ms. Heard?
Wonderful woman.
No.
Miss Jennifer.
Did you
It's
ever see
TGF.
Mr.
That's so
Depp
sad.
physically
Bless
injure
her.
Ms. Heard, cause her an injury?
I didn't see it.
So that's a no, right?
I didn't see it.
Hang on, what? Wait.
Your Honor, at this point,
Oh.
I start asking Ms. Pennington some questions, so we'll play
Right.
that, but maybe we just approach to
Sure.
just get straight on some exhibits, please.
Okay.
So, right. We have some form of movement. Have you got any haunted place exploration videos planned soon? Yes. I've scoped out a place, and I'm currently trying to get in contact with a woman who owns the Ancient Ram Inn. I've left her a few voicemails. I'm going to call her again today after this live stream. But Bonnie, thank you very much for the 5. I really appreciate it. To be honest, I wanted to wait till I got to 100k to do another exploration because they're such big projects, and I'd love just like giving all I can to it. But I feel like I need to, you know, put out my 2 videos a week until we get over the line. But I just thought, fuck it. Like, 100k is taking so long. It's weird. It's obviously like close to 300k over on Facebook, but it's this 100k on YouTube that I've just, you know, wanted. I think we hit 100k on Facebook within like a month or 5 weeks. This, if I don't get 100k before October this year, it would have taken me 10 years on YouTube. But we move, ladies and gentlemen. Same headphones. I bought these recently. I bought these the other day.
Are we ready to start?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now,
Okay, what we got? Did I say 957? No, it can't be 1,000 hours.
Now, I understand that you
9 days worth.
testified a number of times about some of the events that we touched on yesterday, right?
Yes.
Has there ever been
Thank you,
anything
Lewis. Yeah, there definitely is more clothing.
in any of those prior sworn statements or testimony that you've given that has prevented you from telling the truth?
No.
And is all of your prior sworn testimony, including the testimony you gave yesterday, true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Are you here today on behalf of one side or the other? And by that I mean on behalf of Amber or on behalf of Johnny?
No.
So she's independent.
Would you consider yourself adverse or hostile to either party?
No.
Any other time that you can remember?
Not specifically, no.
Was there a name for what you describe as Mr. Depp's different self?
Yes.
What was that name?
We called it the monster.
Who is we?
All of
So
us.
you're not adverse
Me,
to him, but
Johnny,
you call him a monster.
Amber, and anyone else in the inner circle that was privy to the private things that would happen.
Oh, Chapek. A while back, you did a video on Stanford prison experiment over psychology exam next Tuesday, and that
How do you
experiment
know
was on
that
the paper,
Johnny
so technically
called
I was
it a
revising by
monster?
watching your video. I hope it helped.
He named it that.
You heard him refer to this other version of himself as the monster directly?
Either heard or saw it written in a text.
Did you receive texts from Mr. Depp referring to this other version of himself as the monster?
I can't remember specifically any of them.
But you do recall hearing or reading Mr. Depp directly referring to himself as the monster.
Yes.
And why did you do that?
She asked for my help.
She seems really upset.
And over the course of your relationship, when Amber needed your help, you tried to be there for her, right?
Yes.
What do you mean by scary?
I was scared for Amber. I was sad for her, and I was also sad for Johnny. Because he is my friend, too. And I really wanted them to be able to get it together.
Why were you scared for Amber?
It could be very unpredictable. And she didn't have a lot of self-preservation.
She heard him say. She
What
heard him say
specifically,
he refers to himself as a monster.
What type of
I don't mean
harm
to
were
be
you
that guy,
worried
but
about
hearsay.
for Amber?
In the beginning, I wasn't worried. Towards the end, when the physical abuse was more evident, I was worried. I was worried for her physical safety. I was worried that when he turned, he might accidentally do something that was worse than he ever intended.
It's interesting to see both Johnny and Amber
When you
reacting to
say
this. Johnny's
talk
just shaking
about,
his head, Amber's
abuse,
looking like
is
she's gonna
this
cry.
signs of abuse that you personally observed?
Can you explain what you mean specifically by that?
Did you observe physical effects on Amber of that abuse?
Yes.
You testified a little bit yesterday about an incident between Johnny and Amber that took place in Hicksville. You remember that?
Yes.
Tell me as best you can everything that you remember about that.
We were sitting around the campfire. I don't remember who the larger group was. And Amber and Kelly Sue were sitting on a chair together, hugging. And Johnny came up and said, "Get your hands off my woman." And it was surprising because it was a very benign, two friends sitting on the same chair, hanging out. And it was also surprising because Johnny had been hanging out with everybody in a friendly way, and a switch flipped when that happened. And Amber got up, went to go comfort Johnny, and then they went back to their trailer.
How would you describe Johnny's
Zoom
tone
in on
when he said, "Get
Johnny.
off my woman"?
At first, I thought it was a joke. I thought he was kidding because it was so unexpected from the way that the rest of the night had been going. And then at some point, I think Amber realized that it was not a joke and got up to diffuse the situation.
If you can flip your emotions that quickly.
Did you perceive Kelly Sue to be acting inappropriately in any way toward Miss Heard?
No.
Had you seen when you said a switch flipped in Mr. Depp? That was your testimony, right?
Just now?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah.
Was it surprising to you to see?
No.
And why not?
He switched sometimes.
And what do you mean by that when you say he switched?
Johnny would be acting like his wonderful self for a certain portion of an occasion where people were hanging out, or sometimes just privately at home. And I never knew what caused it. The switch would happen to where he would either disappear or go somewhere off by himself, or his mood would change to something darker. And yeah.
Okay. Any follow-up or?
What do you recall? And we'll get to specific incidents in a little bit. But when you say his mood would change to something darker, do you remember any specific examples of times that you witnessed when his mood changed to something darker?
I can't remember at this moment specific times when it would happen. Generally, he would go away from where the rest of the people were. Amber would follow to comfort. Sometimes they wouldn't come back, sometimes they would.
Oh, she's done.
And tell us about the next morning at Hicksville, what you saw and observed.
I went to the trailer to go knock on the door. I think they had already left, though. I went in and saw the disarray.
Describe the
We're
disarray.
back in a
as best
moment,
you
guys.
can.
Like I said yesterday, the light fixtures had been knocked off. Things were strewn about the trailer, cushions off the couch bank.
Over the course of you, now you've known Miss Heard since 2003, right?
Yes.
Have you ever known her to knock light fixtures off a wall?
No.
Have you ever known her to throw pillows and cushions off couches?
No.
Have you ever known her to get in a rage and destroy property?
No.
Have you ever known her to threaten someone's life?
No.
What did Amber tell you? Did you ever have a conversation with Miss Heard about what happened in that trailer in Hicksville?
Yes.
I'd like to fast forward a little bit in time, Miss Pennington, to an episode that we talked about yesterday to some extent. Do you remember being with Amber after something that happened the day before she went on the James Corden show in December 2015?
Yes.
What do you remember? And I know this is
Hello.
painful and emotional, but give me your best recollection of what you recall from that time period.
From the night before?
Were you with Amber the night before the James Corden appearance?
It is very hot in this studio.
Yes.
And were you with her the day of the James Corden appearance?
Yes.
I'm in Norwich.
And did you
recreational chemist.
observe
But I'm sure it's very nice and young.
Miss Heard
as
and
it
Miss
is in
Heard's
Norwich.
residence the day before the James Corden appearance and the day of the James Corden appearance?
Yes.
So with that, tell me everything that you can remember, starting with the day before. And I may interrupt you and ask you to clarify certain things, but tell us everything you remember.
So
Oh,
she
okay.
asked me to come over to her residence, PH3 or PH5. I don't remember which one I entered. And she was very upset. Her face was red, swollen. The hair had been ripped out of her head. I went through all of the penthouses. She didn't cancel. I don't think I even slept that night watching her just to make sure she didn't.
It's a very interesting testimony.
Is that because you were worried she had a concussion?
Yes.
Why did you tell her that you were going to go take pictures throughout the penthouses?
Why wouldn't I?
Ms. Pennington, I'm gonna. You saw a few selected pictures yesterday. I'm gonna show you a number of pictures today that we need to go through, and I'll ask you some questions about them. Okay.
Are you able to see Exhibit 15?
Yeah, I can see it. Can you, Miss Pennington?
Yes.
Oh, what's going on here? Hello, yeah,
Miss
I'm not
Pennington,
coming to feed you.
does this picture truly and accurately depict Miss Heard's appearance on December 2015, during the night that you just discussed?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not you took this picture?
I do not.
It's like a selfie.
That you were with Miss Heard that evening after the incident?
I was.
What room was this taken in?
This is the bathroom of Johnny and Amber's bedroom in PH3.
What injuries, if any, do you observe on Miss Heard in this picture?
Her right eye has a mark and a bruise. Her nose is swollen. There's bruising on her left eye as well.
And Exhibit 16 is up.
What is this picture of Miss Pennington?
Here's a picture of Amber's face with bruising and a mark on her right eye, swelling on her nose, bruising on the left eye, in the same bathroom.
And when was this picture taken?
Probably right after the other one.
I assume the same night.
Is that the night in December 2015 that you've been testifying about for the last few minutes?
Yeah.
Do you see behind Miss Heard's left ear? There's a picture on the wall, and then a writing a note above the picture.
Yes.
What is that note signed? If you can
Yours,
tell.
Steve. That was his.
Steve.
That was their name for Johnny, wasn't it?
To your understanding, who is Steve?
Johnny.
And what does it say right above that?
It says,
Love
"You're
you.
Steve."
Love you eternally.
What's the line above that say?
Eternally? Something, always, up, 3 exclamation points. Love you eternally, your Steve.
And Steve, in that note, refers to the same man that you understood to have inflicted these
This
injuries
is like
on
an
Miss
eye
Heard,
exam, yeah.
correct?
I need to go
Yes.
for an eye exam, to be fair. I ain't had an eye test in 5 years.
And does this picture truly and accurately reflect what you observed on Miss Heard in that night in December 2015?
Partially.
When you said partially, what do you mean by that?
Ow!
You can't see the
Fucking
rest
hell,
of the
they
injuries.
dislocated my finger.
What other injuries are you referring to?
No, I don't live in Anglia,
The
bro.
hair being pulled out.
Exhibit 17 is up.
What is this a picture of, Miss Pennington?
Amber's face turned at a slight profile with a bruise on her eye, swelling on her nose.
And when was this picture taken?
Appears to be the same night, same moment of the previous 2 pictures.
Does this picture fairly and accurately depict, at least in part, Miss Heard's appearance on that night?
Yes.
Exhibit 18 is up.
What is this document, Ms. Pennington?
It's a
That's in
photo
the doc-
of Amber's face with two black eyes and swollen bottom lip.
Did you take this
Swollen
photo?
nose. I don't remember.
You said a swollen nose.
Yes.
This is a lady who was interviewed on January 21st, and Amber Heard's lawyers are just replaying the video.
Does this
For some
picture
reason.
fairly and accurately depict, at least in part, Miss Heard's appearance on that night in December 15, 2015?
Yes.
Did you take pictures of Miss Heard that night?
Yes.
You believe that you took this picture?
I don't know.
But in any event, it accurately reflects what Miss Heard's appearance from that evening.
Yes.
Exhibit 19 is up.
And I'm sorry this is so hard, Miss Pennington. We just need to get through as
Yeah.
get through as best we can. What is this picture?
This is Amber's face turned a profile, showing more of her bottom bloody lip and her right bruised eye.
And what night does this, or when does this show Amber?
It appears to be the same night and the same series of photos as before.
Where was this picture taken, if you know?
It's in the bedroom, facing the. She's sitting on the bed and it's facing the windows.
Was anyone with you and Amber that night after you came over?
No, I don't think so. No.
So is it fair to assume that either you or Amber took this picture?
Yes.
Does it look like Miss Heard took this picture?
No.
Do you recall taking this picture?
I took a lot of pictures. It would be. Yes.
Mm.
Does Miss Heard's lower lip look like it's just chapped?
No, it does not.
Does it look like she just has a cold sore?
It does not look like a cold sore.
Exhibit 20 is up.
What is this a picture of, Miss Pennington?
This is a picture of Amber's hairline, a scratch injury on the hairline, and my thumb holding the hair back so that you can see it.
Does this picture depict marks that you saw on Amber on the night in December 2015 that we've been discussing?
Or the next morning.
One or the other?
Yes.
And Lucas, if you could just go back really quickly to the last picture, please, Pennington 19. I may have asked you this, Ms. Pennington, but I just want to make clear for the record, does this picture fairly and accurately depict Miss Heard's appearance on that night in December 15, 2015 that we've been discussing?
Yes.
Exhibit 21 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
That looks like a cold sore.
This is a close-up picture of the side of Amber's nose and mouth.
Oh, my thing's over it. Sorry, guys.
Has,
Did you take? Go ahead.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Does that? I mean,
has,
does that look like a cold sore to you?
swelling and an injury on her bottom lip.
I don't know.
Are there any other injuries
Could be a cut.
you observe in this picture?
And see, you could see at the top of the photo.
I'm gonna go back now, guys.
Bruising on her eye and the small mark underneath her bottom eyelid.
Did Miss Heard? Did she typically have that small mark underneath her eye or bruising around her eyes?
She did not usually have that small mark or bruising underneath her eyes.
Did she typically have injuries to her lip?
It does look like a cold sore.
Sometimes.
But
Over the course of your friendship with Miss Heard during the time that she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, how often would you all communicate?
Sorry, can you repeat
Oh man,
that
this
question?
is third into this
During the
video.
time that Miss Heard was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, how often would you communicate with Miss Heard? Like every day?
Or she's
When
quite
she
to
was
live as a
filming,
habit.
less. When she was home, all the time.
This is a messy, messy, messy case.
And you just testified, I believe it wasn't the only incident in which you observed injuries to Miss Heard's face or lips, correct?
Correct.
Were there any other times that you observed injuries to Miss Heard's face or lips?
I missed how she's related. Apparently she's friends with Amber
Yes.
and
Exhibit
Johnny.
22 is up.
But I'm pretty sure this is the
What
woman
is
that
this
has since
picture of,
said
Miss
that she's no
Pennington?
longer a friend of Amber's.
Picture is hair pulled back to show the abrasion on the scalp where hair has been removed.
Whose head is that?
Why are we back to this picture?
The Amber's head.
So
Was
confused.
this, do you know when this picture was taken?
Either the night of the event or the next day.
And by event, you're referring to the event in December of 2015 that we've been talking about?
Yes.
Do you recall taking this picture, Miss Pennington, of Miss Heard's scalp?
Yes.
Does this picture fairly and accurately depict
Anyways,
the top
someone
of Miss
who
Heard's
has
scalp
studied makeup, which includes skin
Um,
conditions, injuries, stuff like that, it definitely looks like a cold sore, not a cut.
during the day of or at the day after the December 2015 incident that you've been giving testimony about?
Yes.
Exhibit 23 is up.
What
We've
is this a
seen
picture
these.
of, Miss Pennington?
We've seen
There's a
these.
picture of a
She
clump
said
of
this.
Amber's hair
She said this before.
on the black carpet in the bedroom of PH4 with my finger.
She's already so they're doing the same again the next day. I'm gonna call it there, guys, because I've got things to do this afternoon. But I just want to thank you for joining me, joining in the discussion. It's been fascinating to hear your thoughts on this whole thing. Thank you very much. If you're new here, please think about subscribing. I do true crime content as well as horror, paranormal, things like that. Hit that like button as well as free. Why not? And yeah, I'll see you very soon in another video. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it.